Hi, welcome back. Last time I released a video on Euripides Bacchae, we were looking at the prologue and Dionysus, but I think it's good to really focus in on the chorus, so today's video is going to be all about our first impressions of Euripides' chorus of bacchantes. Okay, so let's have a little look at where we left off. We saw that Dionysus was the master of puppets when he was dealing with the chorus. He had them waving tambourines and doing what he said, and we noticed that they were wearing a particular costume. And the chorus really affirmed this in their first opening song. Don't ever skim over the chorus, but certainly don't do it in a tragedy by Euripides where they are the protagonists. So we start to see the women's talking about their own costume, and we see this idea, this origin story of why the women wear ivy in their hair. So Zeus gave birth to a bull horned god and crowned him with snakes for a crown. That's why maenads wear wreaths on their hair, from the spoil they have caught in the wilderness. So there is no point at which the chorus is unclear about why the maenads look the way they do. The fact that they are wearing fawn skins goes back to the idea of the hunt, and we see this at sort of line 135, wearing the holy deerskin tunic, hunting the blood of the slaughtered goat, the loveliness of eating flesh raw, fresh, new killed. So this distinction between the raw and the cooked, you might have heard about the essay The Raw and the Cooked by Levi Strauss. It's the idea between civility and being uncivilized, basically, the idea of eating raw flesh being an uncivilized thing to do. Okay, and they have wands of sort of fennel, I think, so they have the Thesis that they're holding as well. And we see a reference to this. Be reverent as you wave the wand, so about line 114. And for the women, the landscape that they're in becomes really supernatural. So we mentioned that these women rush up into the mountains, they're in a rural, wild environment, which is completely unlike the environment of the city. Remember that for a Greek audience, the city is in a patriarchal structure because it's in households. So every household has a kurios, a caretaker, every house is known as an oikos. And in the wild, there's none of that. So these women are able to live together in a very kind of lawless, wild way because they're not urbane, they're not living in a civilized manner. And here we see that the landscape becomes really supernatural. Earth flows with milk, earth flows with wine, earth flows with honeyed nectar. Bacchus lifts aloft and shakes the fiery flare of the pinewood torch from the giant fennel wand like smoke from Syrian incense. And everyone's running and dancing in circles. So this really kind of intense cult atmosphere is there, okay? So we get this impression of the bacchantes right before we start to meet Tiresias and Cadmus. So the bacchantes are really good at setting a tone. And remember, we talked about this when we looked at Oedipus the king and we thought about pollution in Thebes, how the chorus can reflect a locale and a public voice. So the Bacchae bring to Thebes the kind of feeling of the mountain because they're in that rural garb, because they're presumably running around and dancing. And look at the way that the dialogue gives us clues as to the action on stage. So, like a filly running beside her mother in the pasture, we maenads leap and bound, kicking our feet in joy. So we get clues as to how frenetic the chorus would be before we get Tiresias and Cadmus sort of dodder on stage to talk about the ritual practice in Thebes. So the chorus are, important in moving a location, setting a tone, giving clues as to staging and presenting sort of key themes before we meet the tragic characters from the family. And this is something to really keep track of in terms of looking at foreboding when we see the play unfold. Okay, I hope that was helpful for you. Don't forget to like, subscribe and hit the notification bell to keep the channel going, and I look forward to seeing you next time. Thanks.